and this was '92. You know, Corcoran was rocking and rolling at that time, and I got there, you know what I'm saying, and got off the bus, and it was ugly. Because as soon as I got off the bus, you know, I'm sitting there in the line, and they told us, you know what I mean, you know, you better look at your feet when you come off this bus. If I see anybody's eyes, you know what I mean, you know, you're gonna taste this billy club.
Right.
So one guy, he was there because he hit a female CO.
Ooh.
And you know what I'm saying, you know, they pulled everybody off the bus, lined us up just to find him and take him on a special trip.
Right.
Because they took him away there. And you know what I'm saying, you know, we didn't see him no more. You know. And people were coming up missing at Corcoran, you know. It was ugly.
You know, I think it was '94. They got them guys from Calipatria, and they took them to Corcoran, and they cut their dreads off. They made them stand outside in the hot asphalt. And in the summertime, people don't know, Corcoran gets 100, 110 degrees. I was on the 3B yard for a while when it was level 4. Them dudes got lawsuits because, I mean, they burned their feet up standing in hot asphalt. Them cops are, you know, I know some dudes that went there. They were Mexican guys. They were prison gang members, and they said when they got off the bus, them cops were getting in their ear, you know, whispering in their ear, calling, saying, hey, you know, you're a piece of shit. You might have been something where you came from, but here you ain't nothing, but a piece of shit. I mean, they're telling dudes that, you know, got multiple prison murders and shot calling, and that's how they're talking to them. So them cops are bold, man. Corcoran, they were. Yeah,
well, they have a reason. They you know, like I said, I was young and dumb and thought I was tough. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? One officer, he was half black and half white, and he used to, you know what I'm saying, you know, talk about me and call me a wigger and a wannabe. And you know what I mean, you know, I would talk about him. So I would always tell him, take your badge and off and bring your bitch ass up in this cell.
Yeah.
One day he did.
Wow.
And you know, we got down, and he came in there, I guess, thinking that he was going to out wrestle me, because he came in and grabbed me, you know. But I've been in a bunch of cell fights, so I know how to use the cell to my benefit.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying, we bounced off a few things, you know what I'm saying? Well, he bounced off a few things, and next thing you know, I got him in a sleeper hole. And, you know what I'm saying, you know, I'm tightening up, and then he's tapping out. When he taps out, I let him go. I didn't want to kill him, you know what I mean? You know, the way I got it, you know what I'm saying, 2 men have a problem, you 2 men get down, after that, problem's over.
Right.
Well, I thought that was it, but it wasn't, because the next day at like 3 in the morning, you know, you in the shoe, your cell don't open unless you're cuffed up.
Right.
It's 3 in the morning, my cell door just started opening up. So I'm asleep in the rack. I'm in the cell by myself, and they came in there, and I'm not a little guy, but they came in there, you know what I'm saying, and full riot gear, and they beat the brakes off of me. You know, I ain't never been beat like that in my life. You know, I was pissing blood for 2 weeks after that.
They use billy clubs and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's when I found out what a flapjack was. You know what that is?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah. There was a couple of them holding me, and then there was a couple of them beating me. They didn't hit me in my face and my head, but from my shoulders to the bottom of my feet, I had big purple bruises all over my body. And then I passed out when they were kicking me in the nuts.
Wow. And, you know, people that hear stories about Corcoran and, you know, the gladiator fights and all that kind of stuff, all that stuff's true, man. You know, I've seen a video on the news. It was a documentary, actually, of 2 Mexican dudes were playing chess, and one guy reached over and slapped the guy because they got the chessboard spray painted on the ground in the hole in the yard. So the dude slapped the dude for whatever, and they waited like 3 or 4 minutes, and they shot the dude, you know, killed him. But they weren't playing games, man. You know, fortunately, when I was there, the FBI was investigating everything, and I was on the main line, and they treated us pretty good. Only thing was, whenever the FBI did something that was on the news, they would come and tear up our cells, like it was our fault or something, you know. Corcoran's a rough prison.
Yeah.
Man. So you finish off the rest of your time there, or what? Hey, so after they beat you down, did you go to sick call, or you just?
I couldn't. They didn't let me see nobody. You know what I mean? You know, because then they'd have proof that something happened.
Right.
So you know what I mean? You know, I didn't get to see no medical or nothing. 2 weeks later, I got called into the office, and there was a guy. It was a lieutenant, and his name was F.A. Rodriguez. If anybody was there back in the day, yeah. So F.A. Rodriguez called me into the office, and he said, "So you got into one of my officers?" And you know, no. Well, you didn't get a visit from some of my officers? No.
No.
Well, nothing happened to you? No. Okay. So if I let you if I release you to my yard, am I going to have any problems out of you? No. Okay. So if you see any of my officers that you recognize, are you going to have any problems? No. In my head, I'm sorry. I'll be good.
Yeah.
You know, so he cut me loose 2 months early on my shoot to the level 3 yard.
Oh, really?
That was a C yard.
Yes,
and you know what I'm saying? I went through auto mechanics, and you know what I'm saying, I stayed there for maybe a year and a half, and parole.
All right.
And when I first got there, I had a big homie, you know what I'm saying, you know, and he was like the biggest guy on the yard. And when they first moved me there, yeah. So when I first got there, a white dude came over, and he was on crutches. He was like, "Hey man, where you from?" So you know, I'm neighborhood Crip. Like, no, where you from? I'm 41st Street. Like, no, where you from? I'm from rolling 40s. So I don't know what he's asking. No, what city are you from? Yeah. Oh, I'm from San Diego. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then, you know what I'm saying, my big homie was on the way pile, and I was over here with some of the younger homies. Yeah. So then the big homie comes over. He's like, hey, man, what'd he say? I'm like, man, he was asking where I was from. He was like, what'd you say? I told him I was from neighborhood. He's like, no, where you from? I'm like, I'm from 41st Street. He's like, no, where you from? I'm like, I'm rolling 40. And he's like, what did he say? He said, what city am I from? I said, oh, I'm from San Diego. He said, oh, okay. And then he left. He was like, come on. So we went over to the white boy weight pile where the shot callers were. And he went over there and talked to him. And I'm standing right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, well, this is it. We're going to go to war right now. And he went and talked to the guy. And it was like, you know, the guy was from IE, and he heard I was from IE, so that's why he came over asking.
Yeah.
So my homeboy told me, if anybody got a problem, it's going to be one-on-one, and you going to deal with it. I'm like, okay, let's go. But didn't nobody want it. You know, that was out there at that time. The next day, somebody wants the one-on-one. So I go, he comes into my building and then goes into one of his buddy's cells, and I go up in there. My homeboy's watching my back, his homie's watching his back. We go up in the cell one-on-one. And you know what I'm saying, you know, we go up in there and we rumbling, and then, you know what I'm saying, I get him into a sleeper and I choked him out. When he went out, I climbed on top of him and just beat him, you know, and I seen him wake up and go back to sleep.
Yeah.
So, you know, I beat him till I got tired. And then I got up and left out the cell.
I had a friend, he said, you knocked the dude out and then knocked him back into consciousness, you know. I've never seen it done, but I've heard of it, you know.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times.
So after that fight, I mean, were you good, or you just stay there, or what? I mean...
No, the police had a thing where if there was an empty cell and you wanted to go fight, you guys go into the empty cell. Whoever loses cleans that cell, when you guys come out of there, it's no more problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, the police didn't care. They just there to get their check. And, you know what I mean, you know, don't cause them no problems. Don't make them have to do no extra work. And you ain't going to have no problems out of them.
Yeah, they hate it when somebody gets stabbed, you know, because then they got to do paperwork.
Yep, yeah. And that makes them mad.
So you paroled from
after that,
mainline, right?
Yep.
You paroled from there. How long did you stay out?
7 months.
That's it?
7 months. I went down to Tijuana, got into a fist fight. That's where I got into it with 3 Navy guys.
All right.
So now the 3 strikes law was brand new.
Yeah.
So it was ugly because the gang prosecutor wanted me to tell on my homies that were doing the robberies,
right,
that they wanted me to go back to robbing with them. And I was like, nah, man, I'm not going back to jail. So, yeah, I mean, you know, they told me, we're going to hang you out to dry if I don't tell them where the homies were at. And I told them to kiss my, you know, at the time I was young and dumb, hang these nuts, you know.
Yeah.
So the only deal they offered me was 11 years with 80% for a fist fight in Tijuana.
11 years?
With 80%.
Wow. Well, yeah, violent crime, you don't get half time. Yeah. Yeah.
So and I ended up going to trial and losing.
Oh man.
And then they gave me less than the deal.
Oh, they did.
I got 9 years. They gave me 3 for assault with a deadly weapon, 3 more for great bodily injury, and because it was my second strike, they had to double the 3 to 6.
All right.
So I went to the pen with 9 years, you know.
Yeah.
And I had already had level 4 points because of minor write-ups that I got in Corcoran.
Right.
You know, for petty bullshit. But I was so short, they didn't transfer me because I was going home.
Right.
So I went home with level 4 points. I come right back, and now I got this 9 years. And I went back. They sent me to Lancaster.
Right.
You know, this was right after they opened it.
Yeah. What year? What year did you go to Lancaster?
94.
All right. Yeah, I got there in 98. So.
Yeah, I left in 98. I was on the Sea Yard for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And I got stabbed twice, and I got in more fights than I can recall. You know, because.
Yeah, I went to Sea Yard. That's what.
Yeah, that was my yard.
Yeah. Jurassic Park. Yeah. When I went there,
you got there after the fence. They had the fences up then.
Yeah, they had a fence up. Yeah, but Corcoran.
I was there when they put the fences up and took the weights.
Corcoran didn't have any fences, but Lancaster had fences. They had it all fenced off.
Yeah, they took the weights when I was there. I don't remember what year it was, but it was between 94 and 98, yeah.
Somewhere around there. Yeah. So when you got to Lancaster, that's a level 4 joint. Sea Yard was supposed to be tough guy yard. Did you have like issues over there?
Yeah, a few of them.
Yeah.
Well, I was there for a little while, and then I got moved from vocational janitorial to vocational drafting.
Right.
And I guess the shot caller for the NLRs was in there in that class.
Yeah.
So I was in there, and I went to go take a piss in the bathroom, and this dude, you know, I'm not a little guy, you know, I'm 6'3", like 240. I've been on the weights, you know what I mean? Right. You know, I'm healthy.
Right.
This dude makes me look little. He's like 6'6", you know, red hair, Swazis and everything, you know what I mean? You know, but he's an NLR. And the dude, you know what I'm saying, you know, hit me while I was taking a piss in the back of the head.
Oh, wow.
You know, so I turn around, you know, and try and fight with him, and he just bull rushed me up against the wall, and he wants to wrestle. You know, turn around and let's fight. You know what I mean? You know.
Yeah.
We on the ground, we wrestle for a minute, then you know, people are coming, you know, it's rumbling, all the noise, so the teacher is coming. So he jumps up, I jump up, he goes to that side, I go to this side, and then, you know what I'm saying, you know, the teacher's right there, and then he tries to swing on me again. So I duck and hit him one time, you know what I mean, that's the only good lick I got in. And, you know, the dude's name was Oak Tree. You know, so you can't be a little guy if your name is Oak Tree. So we go to the hole, and then I stay in the hole for like a week, and they're like, you want to go to another yard? You want to get transferred? No, send me back. So they send me back.
Right.
So I get back to the yard, and the shot caller dude is in my building. So, you know what I mean? You know, we're on modified program, but we get night day room. You know, the night there's no program. You get one tier gets an hour of day room.
Right.
You know, so you use the phone or take a shower. So it was in the daytime before night day room, and the dude comes over to talk to me. My homies is waiting on me. You know what I mean? And me and him sit down at the table, and first he tells me that him and his homeboy planned to do that shit. You know what I mean? You know, to rush me while I was in the bathroom. Yeah. So to me, that's strike one. And then he tells me that he done stabbed 3 white Crips before. Only reason you telling me that is you trying to scare me. Then you tell me that you'll appreciate it if I get out of the class, so it won't be no animosity or no problems. So if I stay in the class, there's going to be animosity and problems. Strike 3, right? Yeah. So, you know what I mean? I tell them, you know, the police are watching. They know what's going on. You know what I mean? So they're watching us talk. So I'm like, look, man, I'm going to talk to the counselor. And I'm going to ask him to get me out of that class so it won't be no animosity or no problems. Is that all right with you? He's like, yeah, man, that's cool. So he goes back to the white side. My homeboys come over and we talk. And I tell him, I'm like, look, man, tonight when we have, you know what I'm saying, day room, because he's on my tier. Tonight when we have day room, I'm going to break that dude's jaw.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean, you know, we come out, you know what I'm saying, you know, and it's night day room. The police ain't paying no attention because, you know what I mean, you know, we talked about it, it's over, you know, different cops are on. So I go straight over to the white side, walk through the tables, which is something you're not allowed to do, you know, to talk to this guy. And I stand by the line. You know, you're not supposed to cross the line and be up on the cell doors.
Right.
So I'm at the out of bounds line right there. And I'm sitting there waiting on him, and he's talking to somebody, and he told me to hold on. So I'm just standing there waiting, and then he comes and stands next to me, and I tell him, yeah, man, I talked to the counselor, and I told him I want to stay in the class so you could suck my dick. And he looks at me like, what? And I just turn around and give it to him, and I see his eyes roll back in his head, and he was out, and he hit the ground head first. The ground woke him back up. But now I see he's down. I'm trying to get over to the black side where I'm you know what I'm saying, you know, I'm covered. And the dude that he was talking to seen me knock him out, and he comes to try and intercept. And you know what I'm saying, I turn around and I swing on him and I hit him in his mouth. And the police seen all of this. But it was a female police, and I was, you know, I was working on, you know, getting in good so that I could get some. You know, that was my goal. Yeah. And so, you know what I mean, you know, she's seen everything. And she told me later on that she's seen everything, but she didn't say anything. She didn't even hit her button when the guy came up and we, you know what I'm saying, exchanged a few swings. He got hit in the mouth. I didn't get hit at all. So she's like, get on the wall, get on the wall. He went and got on the wall immediately. So, okay, that's telling me that he don't want to fight. So I go get on the wall, and, you know what I'm saying, they cuff me up. They put me on CTQ. I'm on CTQ for 10 days, you know, and the shot caller, he's mad. He's walking by, you know, mad mugging me. You know, I'm in my cell, like laughing at him. Hi, you know, because I'm an asshole. So I'm supposed to get off CTQ, and the police come to my cell and say, hey, pack your shit up, man. Get everything you need. They're going to be coming to get you. I just got word. So get everything you need because they're coming to get you.
Wow.
So he's giving me a heads up. So, you know, I packed up tobacco, lighter, and, you know, put it in the vault.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying, went on to the hole. Went to the hole for two weeks, and then they sent me back. It was like, you want to go to another yard? You want to go to another prison? Nope. Send me back.
Yeah.
That's my yard. So they sent me back. But now they had just put the fence up. And I was on the other side. There's 2 buildings on one side. There's 3 buildings on the other side.
Right.
I was on the side with 2 buildings. Now I'm on the other side. So I'm like, okay, you know, so I'm telling the homies, you know what I'm saying, you know, send me some heat, you know what I mean, you know, because I'm not coming outside butt naked, you know, give me something because I know they're coming. So the homies, you know what I'm saying, you know, are bullshitting and slow dragging, and they don't get nothing to me, you know, but they don't open the yard my first day out. So I'm glad because I didn't have anything. So the next time, you know what I'm saying, you know, my homie comes and he slides something, you know what I mean? So I got my knife and I'm ready, right? So now it's time to go out to the yard, and right before yard, the police come to my cell and tell me to strip out.
Wow.
So I got the knife in my waistband, you know, but it's not a, you know what I'm saying, a big bone crusher or nothing, but it's a little piece of steel, and the handle is a cap from a pen with string wrapped around it real tight, right? But it's sharpened down both sides, and I got it stuck into the jeans, you know what I mean, you know, where the blade is in and the handle is on the inside of my waistband.
Right.
So the police come and strip me out, and I'm like, you know, I can't, ain't nothing I can do. 2 cops are at my door. So I give them my shirt, give them my shoes, and then I take off my pants. And when I take off the pants, I fold them with the belt, and I have that piece tucked down and covered, and I hand them the pants, and they just go like this and give me the pants back. And I'm like, so I put them back on real quick.
Yeah.
And went on out to the yard.
Well, you know, they do tend to get lazy. They get complacent, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But then didn't nothing happen. You know, I was there for about another couple weeks, and it was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, and there was a guy who was in my old building. He's not supposed to be on this side of the yard.
Yeah.
So I was talking to the homie through the fence. You can't be close to the fence. You got to be a little farther back, and it's like a track where people can walk around. So I'm standing back on the grass, and people walk by. So I see this guy out the corner of my eye, and I know he's not supposed to be on this side of the yard.
Right.
So I know why he's here. You know, so I pretend like I don't see him, or, you know what I'm saying, you know, or I'm stupid. And I'm talking to my boy through the fence, but I'm watching him. And I had shades on, and I'm watching him, and I'm waiting. And here he comes, and he thinks I'm not paying him no attention. And then he comes and he tries to swing, and I duck. And when I duck, I catch him with an uppercut, and he just drops. So I back up. The police know, you know what I mean, you know, there's still tension, you know what I mean. So the police are standing right there when it happens, and they're, get down, alarm goes off. So I back up. The dude gets up and comes at me again. And, you know what I'm saying, you know, 1, 2, and he's down on the ground again. So I back up. And then he gets up again.
Yeah.
And he comes at me. And then he gets one wild swing, and he broke my glasses, and it put a little cut over on the side of my eyebrow from where the little metal piece that holds the arm onto the glasses. It gives me a little cut. And so he goes down again for the 3rd time. I back up, and the police are, get down. And I wait, and I see he's not getting up this time. So I get down over here, because I'm not going to get down and let nobody kick me.
Right.
And so the police come and they cuff him up, they cuff me up, and now they're walking us across the yard, but now the adrenaline is pumping, fuck that. This Crip for life. Fuck all y'all. The cops are like, calm down. Man, fuck that. This Crip. I'm talking shit. And they take me to the program office, but they took him to the infirmary because the fool was bleeding. He had 2 teeth knocked out and his nose was broke. So he was bleeding. And they took me in the program office. I sat in there for about maybe an hour. And then they took me to medical to get checked out because you go into the hole. And when I get in there, the MTA, he's a black guy. He's like, hey, you broke that guy's nose. So,
yeah,
back to the hole.
So, did you get transferred out of Lancaster?
Nope.
No?
Send me back to my yard.
All right.
That's the thing. There was the lieutenant, the captain. The captain was a black lady. So, I'm allowed to defend myself. If somebody comes at me, I'm allowed to defend myself. And the cops all wrote it up to where the dude came at me and I hit him and then I backed up. And then the guy got up, came at me again, and I hit him and he dropped and I backed up and he got up and came at me again. And then I just backed up when he was on the ground. And when he stopped getting up, coming at me, I got on the ground. So I didn't do nothing wrong.
Eventually, you
my
got
115 was dismissed.
Eventually, you got down to level 3. Did you go to level 3 from Lancaster?
Get with level 4 points. Yeah. That was after the second time I got stabbed. They sent me down there because they was like, that's it, because I had so many fights and there was what 2 riots. And then I got stabbed and, then I came back and they stabbed me again. And, because one time I got 6 stitches and the guy who stabbed me got 13. Another time I got hit in the neck in the back with like an ice pick, a piece of the kitchen rack.
Yeah.
And then, the guy that stabbed me came up behind me while I was walking back from chow and stabbed me twice in the back. He was going for a kill shot. And he missed. I broke his jaw and knocked him out. And while he was on the ground, I just pounded him because literally I was trying to get the police to shoot him because, he hit me, from behind. I turned around. I see a knife in his hand. It got blood on it. Right. I don't know how bad I'm hit. I don't know, what I'm dealing with. So, I'm turning him because that's when they came with the rule. They can't shoot unless they see a weapon. Right. So I'm turning him around so that the tower can see this knife in his hands and shoot him. But then the tower says, hey, y'all in front of 3 buildings, stop horseplaying.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck. Yeah. One thing led to another. I swing, he swung, and he got knocked out. And then he was on the ground with the knife still in his hand, clenched. Wow. And I was just beating on him, and the police came and tackled me off of him. And you can tell them you can't breathe. They give you immediate medical attention. So
I remember.
I told them I couldn't breathe.
I remember, man, they would shoot you. When I first went to the pen, they would shoot you for horseplaying.
For a fight, anything.
Yeah, they would shoot you for horseplaying, fighting. They would shoot you if you ran in the wrong area. They would shoot you. And they would shoot you with a Mini 14. San Quentin had shotguns.
Yeah, the tumblers.
But, San Quentin had shotguns, but and Mini 14s. But, it was ugly. They didn't wait, I tripped out like when I got to level 4 later on. They weren't shooting nobody. I was like, man, what, because when I was in Lancaster, we had a couple riots, the Whites and the Southsiders, and they just went on forever, it seemed like, but they didn't shoot anybody. It just blew my mind, that they would not shoot.
I've had cops tell me they let us fight, and then by then we're too tired to want to fight them.
Yeah, it's crazy, you know. So you got to Donovan, and I got back to Donovan in 2003 from Lancaster. You were there.
Yeah, I got there in '08.
Right. I think it was was it? Yeah, 2003 I got there.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, you were there, right?
Yeah, I got there in '08. I stayed there for almost 8 years.
Yeah. You know, it was all right. I was in Donovan in the 90s, and then when I went back in the 2000s, it was a whole different deal. Donovan was getting
Yeah, well,
fucked up.
the 3 yard, they had a lot of PIA, so it was a lot of money on that yard.
Right, right.
So, you know, when there's money, there's drugs and everything else. So,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, and guys that are involved with drugs, they don't want no drama because they want to, you know, and
Don't mess up the business.
yeah, and guys that were there from that area, they didn't want to leave. They just wanted to stay there and party, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. I was on.
I used that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Why not? You know. I was on 3 yard for a while, then I shot over 1 yard, and I worked as a plumber, so I kind of had my way. I was a plumber the first time I was there. I was there for a Category T program. I was a plumber, and then I went back and I got right on the plumbing crew, you know. My boss was a Lola. She had real long Mexican chick, you know, real long hair. And so I could go. I had free reign of the joint, you know. It was fun. But I was on 1 yard, I think, when they had a altercation with you and another white Crip and some white guys. But I remember the skinhead dudes on the yard saying, "Oh yeah, Snow Rocc got the best weed on the yard," you know. And I'm like, "All right, you know." So here's guys supposed to be running you off, but they're buying weed from you, you know. Yeah, you know what I mean. And that's kind of how Donovan was then, you know.
Yeah, like I said, I used it.
Yeah. So after that thing happened at Donovan, they sent you to Soledad or something. So that
they sent me to CMC East.
All
and
right.
I didn't want to go there because, you know what I mean, all I've ever heard about CMC is it's a PC joint. And everywhere, every prison I ever went to, as soon as I get there, the cops are asking me if I want to go PC or S. Then it became SNY. And, you know what I'm saying, you know, I'm not folding up. I don't give up. And I'm not quitting. So, you know what I mean, you know, put me wherever you want to put me. And I'll deal with whatever comes the best way I can.
Right.
So, you know, everywhere I went. And so when they told me that they were, you know what I'm saying, I was endorsed to go there, I went out to the yard in the hole and I socked the guy on the yard, you know, and he told on me and everything. And the 115 went to the lieutenant. He was like, well, so I see because all the police know me. I've been there for 8 years, you know, you can't not know me. So the lieutenant is like, I know you're trying to stay here because if you got a 115, you can't get transferred. Right. So I'm going to make this 115 disappear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? So they shipped me out and sent me to CMC. I got up there. And, you know what I'm saying, you know, it was some bullshit. I ended up, you know what I'm saying, getting into it over some bullshit because it was some bullshit people there. And they you know what I'm saying, you know, it was only one other San Diego Crip. And, you know what I'm saying, you know, it was an issue with him getting into it with a blood. And then the San Diego Bloods, you know what I'm saying, jumped him. 3 Bloods jumped him. And, you know what I'm saying, I'm the big homie. It's just me and him. Yeah. And I can't accept that. So, you know what I mean? You know, I take off. And then it was, you know what I'm saying, you know, I did what I did. And long story short, you know what I'm saying, some of the guys from the other side told because when we go to the program office, the police told me everything that happened.
Oh yeah.
And you know what I'm saying, that's the way it is. They were comfortable. They had their nest feathered. And you know what I'm saying, you know, they get rid of us, and you know what I'm saying, you know, they're back to their comfortable spot.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I ended up screwed because I lost the time for the riot in Donovan, and I can't get that back now because I got a riot in CMC.
Oh wow.
So I ended up going from there. They transferred me to Soledad.
Yeah.
I get over there, and they put me in a cell, and they were on lockdown for a Black and Mexican riot, right?
Right.
So the blacks and the Mexicans don't even get to come out, right? The whites drop kites and say that they're going to stab me, and you can't even get to me. But you drop a kite and tell the police you're going to stab me, you know.
Well, somebody did.
So,
somebody did
yeah.
because they didn't want to have to stab you, you know.
Yeah. So I went from there. I went to the hole, and then I went to the other yard, and then, you know what I'm saying, I was over there, and then I was on the yard for like 3-4 months, and I talked to the shot caller, told him, look, anybody that got a problem, one-on-one, we can deal with it. Anybody, you know what I'm saying, try anything else, I got a bunch of people that are behind me that are going to get involved. You know what I mean? So to avoid a big incident and a riot or anything like that, go get at your people, go get anybody that got the problem, line them up, and we can deal with it.
Yeah.
And didn't nobody want it. So they left me alone. I'm on the yard for 4 months, and you know what I'm saying, you know, there was never any problem until somebody dropped a kite to the police.
Yeah.
And then they put me in the hole. And then I did my last 8 months.
I remember in Donovan you had an open door policy. Everybody knew it, you know. Snow Rocc will fight anybody, anytime, step on up. Yeah. In the cell.
Well, that's the only way I'm going to survive, because I can't count on everybody to have my back.
Right.
You know, I've been left hanging. I've had people, you know what I'm saying, run out on me. So, you know what I mean, open invitation, anybody one-on-one, come on. You know, and then in Donovan, there was a situation where it was a 2-on-1 because one guy, you know, he kept eyeing me, you know what I mean? You know, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying, you know, I was going through some stuff, you know what I mean? You know, a family member had passed and I was mad at the world, and you know what I mean? You know, this guy just happened to be where I took my frustrations out because he keeps looking at me crazy, like, you know what I mean? You know, eye fucking me. So I don't say nothing to him. We're walking around the track, and I always walk the opposite way of everybody else so that I can see people coming, because I've had too many incidents where people come up behind me.
Right.
So I'm walking the track with 2 of my homies, and you know what I'm saying, you know, we're talking and this and that, and I don't even tell them what's going on. But you know what I'm saying, when we come around again, I'm like, man, if this guy's eyeballing me again, I'm just gonna hit him. So he's eyeballing me again when we come around. So I just haul off and hit him, and he went out, and I kept walking. My homies tried to stop because they heard it, you know, because it made a pop sound when I hit him. And I just told him, no, keep going, let's go, keep going. So his buddies seen what happened, and you know what I'm saying, they picked him up real quick. The police didn't see nothing, you know, they're taking a nap. So we walk around, and now his people grab him and wake him up, you know what I mean, you know, get him situated. So now he wants that one-on-one. So there's a pocket, you know, by building 13, and we go over into the pocket.
Spot. Yeah.
Yep. So we go over there to the pocket, and you know what I'm saying, we're fighting. And as he goes to sleep, his buddy is running in to help him as he lays down. So now it's not 2-on-1 because he's asleep, but you run into this hornet's nest and you get it too. Yeah. So I, you know what I'm saying, beat him up, and then, you know what I'm saying, my homies are all right there, and I'm like, no, let's go. And we just walked off. 2 guys, you know what I'm saying, you know, knocked out in the pocket. Yeah. You know, and I was just, you know what I'm saying, like I said, I was frustrated, and you know what I'm saying, you know, it was a release. You know,
do you remember?
You know what I'm saying?
You remember Big Harold from there?
I used to smoke a lot of PCP, so I'm really bad with names.
Yeah, he was an older cat. He was a skinhead dude, the older guy. He was in building 15. He was pretty cool, actually. But, yeah, he was there at the time. But I remember him telling some guy, he took some guy's glasses and he said, I'll give my glasses back, Harold. And he says, we can go over building 13 and you can fight me for them, or you can buy me a shot. And I seen him later on say, Harold, that guy got his glasses back, man. Would he fight you? He says, nah, he bought me a shot, you know. But, you know, Harold was he passed away now, but he was a street fighting fool, you know, San Diego. But, yeah, Donovan had that blind spot. It was good because it kept guys from running their mouth, you know.
Yeah.
Because you could go to the yard and go get them up without being caught. Yeah. So you paroled from Soledad North?
No, I paroled from the hole.
Yeah, in Soledad?
Because they dropped kites. Yeah,
X-wing. Oh, so you paroled. That's Central. Yeah. Okay.
So I paroled from there, and it was a mess because, you know, after doing 12 years, 7 months straight, mentally, I wasn't all there. You know, and I ain't got no family, no place to go. Right. You know, I got out with nothing. I had like $500-600 on my books. They gave me a check that I couldn't cash because I didn't have an ID. They gave me $200 gate money, but they took part of that for the bus ride home from Gilroy. Yeah. And I ain't never heard of Gilroy, but that was a long bus ride. I got back to San Diego at about 2 a.m. and I don't know where to go, what to do, nobody to call. Right. All I got is parole officer's address in El Cajon. So I just started walking, you know, at 2 a.m. and I walked from downtown all the way to Encanto. Just, you know what I mean, you know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm just waiting, you know what I'm saying? I'll get on a trolley or whatever and I'll get over there. You know, I stopped at the taco shop and got me a burrito and, you know, had a pack of Camels and a lighter.
Yeah.
And my little paper bag of the papers that I had when I was, you know what I'm saying, in the hole.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was rough because the parole office, I'm, you know, suspecting, okay, can you guys help me get into a drug program, something, you know, so I can, you know what I'm saying, you know, get on my feet and you know what I'm saying, you know, and they're like, well, all our funding got cut. We don't have anything. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? We don't know. You know what I mean? That's not for us. You got to figure that out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? You know, they sent me to a place that gave me 2 bags of groceries. And then the place that gave me the groceries sent me with 2 vouchers to a thrift store to get clothes, 2 $15 vouchers for clothes. So I went over there and got that. So now I got 2 bags of groceries, a paper bag of my papers. Luckily the parole office, they had petty cash, so they cashed out my check and gave me, you know what I'm saying, the money. And, you know what I'm saying, I figured, you know what I'm saying, okay, I'll find a place. I'll give me a hotel room or something. I went and tried to get a hotel room, and it was like, well, we need your ID.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was all bad.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting into a drug program. I found it on my own. I got in there, and, you know what I mean, you know, it helped me, you know what I'm saying, you know, they told me that they'd help me get a job through a temp agency, and they set me up with this and that. And as soon as I think it was the second day there, they had an AA meeting, and there was a lot of people there, and majority of them were white. And now there was a smoking area, and that's where I would always go, you know, because I smoked. So I'd be in a smoking area, and after this AA meeting, everybody came over there. And this is the first time I ever had a panic attack. At the time, I didn't know what it was, but there's so many white people around me, I'm waiting to see which one is going to try and stab me, you know, because, you know what I'm saying, that's all I know.
Right.
So mentally, I'm messed up, you know what I mean, you know, and luckily there was a guy there, older white guy named Captain Paul, and he helped me, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, hey, man, you all right? And I'm defensive. Yeah, I'm all right, you know. why are you asking? You know,
Yeah.
he's like, man, I see. I mean, you know, you done did some time, huh? How you know? He's like, I can see it. You know, but he was one of the main people that helped me start getting my mentality together, because like I said, I was messed up. You know, all I know is the cage, and now I'm out. I don't know how to live out here. So it was a struggle, and you know what I'm saying, that went on for, you know what I'm saying, you know, a while, and then I ended up getting a job, you know what I'm saying, you know, and working and doing what I was supposed to do, and I built a life, and it was a pretty good life, but you know what I'm saying, you know, it wasn't good enough to keep me from, you know what I'm saying, you know, the BS, and I ended up going back.
Right.
And I did 5 years, and you know what I'm saying, you know, and I got out. But when I went in, you know what I mean, you know, one of the main things that was there is like my daughter, she broke her leg, and they said she had cancer. You know, she had a tumor in her leg. And so I went to my play sister, lady that was always there in my life, was always helped me. And she was Christian and into the Bible and everything. And I had lost faith. And I asked her to pray for the little girl. And she's like, boy, you pray. And I'm like, I don't believe in God. She said, boy, if you didn't believe in God, you wouldn't be here asking me to pray right now.
Yeah.
So she said, you pray and I'll pray with you.
Yeah.
So I prayed. I said, I don't care what happens to me. You know what I mean? As long as she's okay. Right? So I was out on bail at the time, facing 25 to life. And then the DA had already told me that he's not giving me a deal, you know what I mean, unless I help him with some of his other cases.
Yeah.
You know, I told him to kiss my ass, and I spent all my money on bail, and I should have spent it on a lawyer. But, you know what I mean, you know, I just wanted out. And it went all bad. I ended up locked up, and then I was back in Donovan, got into a fight in the hole. Me and my cellie were talking, and he was telling me about God, and I was telling him how I don't believe in God. And then he was like, well, wait a minute. You said you went and prayed and with your play sister. And you said you don't care what happens to you as long as she's okay. I'm like, yeah. And so what happened? You know what I mean? I told you what happened. You know what I mean? You know, yeah, last week you told me when you got that letter that the little girl, they took the tumor out of her leg. It wasn't cancer, and she's going to be okay. So I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, so your prayer was answered. What do you mean my prayer was answered? How do you not see that? You said you don't care what happens to you. You're locked up. You said all you care about is that the little girl is okay. Okay, so she's okay. You're in here. That was what you prayed for. Yeah. So then a big light bulb popped over my head in realization, like, oh, that was what I asked for. So
this is why you're doing your 5 years?
Yeah.
When you went back?
Yeah, so, you know, because of that, I ended up going to a level 2 because I was going to jack my points up and get some bullshit 115s and go level 3 because I don't do dorm living. I'm not going to be in a dorm waiting for somebody to come and stab me while I'm asleep. Yeah. You know, and this is my mentality, but I put it in God's hands and I let him deal with it because, you know, realizing like this is what I asked for. So, okay, well, maybe this is where you want me. So that's where I'll go. So while I was in there, I was taking college classes. I got a job in the canteen. I was a canteen clerk. So I was hustling, getting people to the front of the line, you know what I mean, you know. And one of the classes I was taking, an accounting class, and I was calculating it up, and I was making over $145 just for getting people to the front of the line every month. And not counting, they paid me $35 a month for, you know what I'm saying, working there. And then on my time, you know, I sit on my bunk and I do my college classes, you know what I mean, you know, and, you know, I'm basically trying to upgrade myself. At the same time, I'm going to church now, And then on Saturdays, they have this class called Men's Fraternity. And one of the biggest things that was integral in my growth was the preacher. He was a dope boy, you know, and then he got his life together and he never went to jail. But he always said he would never go to prison. And now he comes to prison every week to teach. And one of the things we went through was called, the class was Men's Fraternity. And the thing was, are you a man or a male? And I used to think when I was 14, I had my own apartment, so I'm a man.
Yeah.
But that's not what it takes to become a man. It takes a lot more, you know, because a man is a positive aspect in his community. A man takes care of his responsibilities. Right. A man is responsible, you know what I mean? You know, so it's a lot more to becoming a man than just, you know what I mean, putting a roof over your head. You know what I mean? So when I learned that at the end of the class, it was, I mean, you know, the questionnaire when you filled out, at first I put out, I'm a man. And then it asks you the same questions again at the end after you've been through all the information. So at the end, I put down that I'm a male working on becoming a man. Yeah. You know, and since I've been out, I've been home less than 4 years. And this is the best life I've ever had. I've been married for 2 years. I got a beautiful wife, 2 beautiful daughters, both of them in college, doing what they're supposed to do. You know, I'm blessed. I say every day that I'm blessed by the best and I'm praying for the rest. So now I'm working on trying to be a positive aspect in my community. You know, I found a group, if you can see the hat or the shirt. It says all of us or none. Yeah, and then it says the same thing in Spanish.
All right. Yeah.
On the bottom.
So what's that all about?
So, well, it's to develop a national movement to formerly incarcerated people and people with past convictions so that we can build a political power in our community because we don't have a voice.
Right.
Just recently, we had a food drive where we passed out food to almost 300 families in Southeast San Diego, and it was all to promote Prop 17. Prop 17 passed, giving people, you know what I'm saying, you know, that are on parole, you still get an opportunity to vote. Now, me, I'm 48 years old, but this year is the first year I've ever been able to vote, you know, because I'm off paperwork. You know what I'm saying, I'm a tax-paying citizen. Right. So, you know, I'm just trying to do something positive with my life and, you know what I'm saying, you know, do what I can to promote something positive.
Yeah, I just got off parole, so now I'm eligible to vote. So, you know, next elections, I'll be the first time I ever vote as well. So, man, it sounds like, you know, you turn your life around and you're doing positive things in the community. So I'm assuming that you continue with your church and all that kind of stuff out in the world.
Yeah, the church is like when I came home, the church has a sober living, and it's the same church that I went to as a child. You know, my mother and father were married in this church. I got married in this church. And, you know what I'm saying, they have now a sober living house for men, and they have a sober living house for women. So when I first came home, they gave me a place to stay so that I could get on my feet. And, you know what I'm saying, it helped me to build a solid foundation so that I could build the life that I have today. You know, so I'm blessed, like I say, blessed by the best and praying for the rest. You know, because our church, they have Celebrate Recovery at our church. So, you know, me and the wife would go there, you know what I'm saying, you know, because of COVID, things, you know what I'm saying, you know, kind of funny, but, you know what I'm saying, you know, we're still, you know what I'm saying, you know, still sober, still doing what we're supposed to do, still, you know what I'm saying, you know, we do our own little personal study here at home, you know.
Right.
So
are you working with like gang violence, any kind of stuff like that out there? Or I
try and do what I can. You know, I'm not, I I don't know how to, you know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want to be the guy that, like, when I was young and people used to come to me, man, you need to stop doing this, and you need to do this, and you need to do that. I don't want to be that guy, because when that guy came to talk to me, the first thing, man, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? You know? So I'm just hoping that somebody looks and sees, you know what I'm saying, man, look at Snow Rocc. He's doing good.
Right.
You know? And then, you know what I'm saying, you know, how's he doing that? Well, Snow Rocc goes to work every day, and Snow Rocc busts his tail. You know what I mean? And, you know what I'm saying, you know, I don't get paid a lot of money, but, you know what I'm saying, the company that I work for is a good company, and they help me out. They get me trained and certified, and so I can move up and better myself. And, you know what I'm saying, you know, I'm blessed to be a part of this company, and they take care of me, you know, but I bust my ass, and, you know what I'm saying, if you work hard, they take care of you.
Well, you know, it goes for most jobs. If you work hard, you get a check, and, you know, you can provide for yourself. So basically what you're doing now is you're leading by example, instead of on
I'm
the
trying,
negative
that's
side.
all.
Yeah, you're leading on the positive side now instead of the negative, because you know, I met a lot of guys that talked about you, both white, black, and Hispanic, and, you know, they say, hey, Snow Rocc was about the shit, like him or not. You know, he was, you know, you were a tough guy, and you know, stand up dude and all that kind of shit. But not so now you're leading by example towards a positive. So if somebody looks at your life now, maybe you can get a little inspiration and realize.
Hopefully, that's my biggest hope, is that somebody sees me and, you know what I'm saying, you know, does something different than the way I did, because, you know what I'm saying, I spent too much time in a box, in a cage.
Right.
You know what I mean, you know, and I don't want to be a part of the basically, like that. I heard a saying once that slavery has been abolished except for the convicted felon.
Right.
Because you were in there, you were a plumber. How much were you making as a plumber?
I made $48 a month.
I remember, you know what I'm saying, I was in PIA, and I worked in PIA for almost 5 or 6 years. Yeah. And I started out at 35 cents an hour, and the top you can make in PIA is 95 cents an hour. Right. And I worked there for years. So my mentality when I came home was, if I can work for pennies in there, I could work for dollars out here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I used to see guys in there, and they would be volunteering, working in the kitchen so they could get something eating on the yard. They tell me, oh, I don't work on the street. I said, what do you mean you don't work on the street? Like, you're working in here so you get a little extra something slop to take home and eat, and you won't work on the street? I mean, come on, dude. You know, that philosophy made no sense to me whatsoever, you know. But yeah, I mean, I did a lot of nasty shit in there too as a plumber, but you know, it kept me busy, kept me out of trouble, and, you know, $48 a month in prison isn't too bad, but you know, that's $48 an hour out here on the street, you know. Yeah. I mean, prison's not a good place to be, man. You know, you could have lost your life at numerous occasions. You know, you're separated from the people you love, your friends. And like in my case, you know, I did 38 years. You know, I'm not eligible to collect Social Security until I worked for 10 years. And I never had a job. I went to the pen when I was 17. So, you know, if there's youngsters out there in the mix, man, that's doing shit that can take them to the pen, I highly recommend they rethink their game plan, because in the end, if you survive it, you're going to be an older man with nothing to show for it, you know, except a name, you know. That's the thing you said if you survive it. There's a lot of people that don't make it out. That's right. And there's a lot of people that die in there, and there's a lot of guys that are going to live out the rest of their life in there. So, you know, it's a dicey situation, man. And you know, really, I know for a lot of guys, it's hard to step away for a lot of different reasons, you know. for the threat that you know, maybe their homeboys might retaliate for them stepping aside, or I don't know, but it's not really that hard to do. Just say, hey, you know, I'm going to step aside and do something different, something positive. I've seen guys do it. You did it. You know, for myself, I bit into a certain game plan, like you said. You don't rat. You know, I got arrested with a couple other dudes. I got charged, went to trial, got found guilty. I did my time, and now I'm a free man. For the first time since I was 13, I'm off paper, I'm free, and I don't live by prison rules anymore. I live by society's rules, and, you know, life's good, man. I wish I would have woke
Hey, I say it every day. I'm blessed by the best, praying for the rest.
Yeah, I wish I would have woke up before I got that life sentence, but, you know, God's been good enough to me to give me that second chance, you know, so, yeah. Hey, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you and hearing your story, and, you know, I hope people benefit from it. And, you know, is there anything you'd like to say, you know, before we close out? You want to give a shout out to anybody or any group, or?
All of us are none. I want everybody to check them out on Facebook. You can find them if you look them up.
Right.
Also, if anybody wants to get at me, you just go to NH Snow Rocc. That's SNOWROC @gmail. So anybody wants to reach out, you know, I'm not hard to find.
All right, cool, man. Man, hey, thanks for being on here with us tonight. It was a pleasure. It really was. It's been quite a while since I've seen you, and I'm glad to see you're doing positive things and having a good life. I really am.
Keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Thank you. You know, it's my thing, you know, try to give a piece back, right?
Hey, we got to.
That's right. Yeah.